Hello, everybody, and welcome to the special edition of the Wrestling Forum, the recap of the 2020 Money in the Bank. It was live. Well, it most of it was live from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, but the Money in the Bank ladder matches was held at the WWE World Headquarters, aka the Titan Towers, in Stamford, Connecticut. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the official recap of everything that went down here tonight. So, we kicked it off with a pre-show fight. It was Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro. Jeff Hardy won the match in 13 minutes and 30 seconds. And we started the event off tonight as it was the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team fight, as it was the New Day, the Forgotten Sons, Miz and Morrison, and the Lucha House Party for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. The winners of the bout in 12 minutes, and still the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the New Day, successfully defends the titles here tonight. Excellent match. Very good way to start the show off. This was a solid 3-star fight. I like the action. There was a little bit of the chaos that you always expect in these multi-man tag team fights, and we got to see it here tonight. But the right team won, the most deserving team won, and the New Day successfully defends the titles. However, you can make an argument that Miz and Morrison's definitely not out of the picture, and the Forgotten Sons are definitely not out either, because I believe it was the Lucha House Party that ate the pin at the end, so they're definitely out. They protect the other two tag teams, so they definitely could do it again down the line. Unfortunately, Lucha House Party back of the line for you boys, but for Miz and Morrison, for the Forgotten Sons, they could say, hey, we didn't get pinned, we still can make a claim for the tag team titles. So, New Day wins. Solid opener. Anthony, it's yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. I got to give this about 3.25 to 3.5 stars. This was a high energy bout from the moment the referee called for the bell. We saw several multi-person spots and some outside interference from the third member of the Forgotten Sons, Jackson Riker. Mitalik, Morrison, Kofi, and Lince Dorado did most of the work when it came to leaping off of the top turnbuckle, while everyone else was responsible for catching them. This was fun from start to finish. All four teams looked great, and the champions retained their titles to continue their reign at the top of the SmackDown Tag Team division. Great way to start it off. I'm giving this about 3.25 to 3.5. One of the top fights of the night for sure. No question about that. So, Phenom, Michael Bullock, let's get your thoughts on that opening Fatal 4-Way SmackDown Tag Team title bout.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this about maybe 3.5 for the effort here. I mean, yeah, when you get a Fatal 4-Way like we saw with this match tonight, you know it's gonna be utter chaos like we saw tonight. I mean, the action was really good. I mean, I thought all teams did pretty well, but yeah, the right team definitely won. So yeah, yeah. So yeah. So as far as I'm concerned, I mean, yeah, the right team definitely won. But yeah, I don't think you can count the Forgotten Sons out. I don't think you can count out the Miz and John Morrison. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens somewhere down the line. So 3.5 as far as I'm concerned. Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 3.5. This is a really good match for being 8-man with the extra on the outside. Great pace, lots of fun. There was something wrong. So really, I don't have anything negative to say about it. I mean, this was great. A lot of great spots. So yeah, it's yours, Fletch.
All right, and then the next thing that we will say is that there was a Dutch fight of the night. It was R-Truth officially coming out, and MVP came out, and then basically, I guess MVP made it and pushed it, and the next thing we saw that it was Bobby Lashley. Lashley destroys R-Truth in the minute and 40. Blah, we're not even getting into that. SmackDown Women's title on the line. Bayley versus Tamina. Bayley successfully wins the title and wins it in 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
Sleeper fight of the night right here. I'm going to give this a solid 3 stars for the effort. Between the awesome video before the show and this bout, Tamina has never looked better. She is showing more personality and has finally been given a chance to show what she can do as a solo act. Bayley was a great antagonist, and the boss helped accentuate everything she did with her snarky comments. They did a great job neutralizing Tamina's power advantage to make this a realistically competitive bout. This was much better than most people probably expected it to be, including me. Both women worked hard to make sure that they were not lost in the shuffle during this pay-per-view tonight. So, solid 3 stars, and I could probably say Tamina's far and away best match. So yeah, well done. So she may not have won the title, but I'm going to give it up for her anyway. And I'm going to do what the Luge always does. Tamina. Well done. She may not have won the title, but she definitely earned my respect.
She won a lot of fans over tonight, no doubts.
Absolutely.
No doubts. Bullet gets yours, my friend.
That's right. 3 stars.
Oh yeah, I think she won a lot of people over tonight with her performance. So I'll definitely give it 3 stars for the effort here. And yeah, no surprise that Bayley went over. And who knows, maybe it'll continue the potential breakup of Sasha and Bayley. So we'll just have to wait and see. So I'm just going to give it to you, Dee Dee.
Yeah, I'll agree. It's definitely a 3-star match. Tamina looked awesome. I mean, she did a great job. I'm still not a big fan of the fact that Banks got involved, but it is what it is. Bayley, still came out with the title, but Tamina looked awesome tonight. So, not much more I'm going to add to it. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, the next thing we had was the Universal Championship match on the SmackDown side. Braun Strowman puts the title on the line against Bray Wyatt, but hold, folks, this is regular Bray Wyatt, Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt. Braun Strowman wins the match, successfully defends the Universal title at 10 minutes and 55 seconds. Michael Bullock, do it for me one time. You know you wanna.
Roar!
It's all yours, my friend.
All right, I'm gonna give this about maybe 2.5 here for the match. I mean, it was fine for what it was, but I mean, there were times that you could say it was maybe a little slow at times with the way these two were, but yeah, I mean, and I don't know if you saw this, guys, but right after the match, you saw like Bray Wyatt. I mean, as they were pointing towards him, it looks like we might be getting the Fiend. I think maybe we get another match between these two. Only this time, I think it's going to be the Fiend who gets the opportunity at Braun Strowman. Will it happen? We're just gonna have to wait and find out. So 2.5 for me is my rating. Dee Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll give it probably about 2 stars. It was interesting. I'll put it that way. It started off okay, and then you got all the puppets that popped out. You had, all this. I guess you could say play acting that was going on, but I did like the fact that Braun kind of turned all this around on Bray. He started playing the game where he put the mask on, acted like he was going with him, and then all of a sudden, boom, he knocks him out. Uh, or knocks really doesn't really knock him out, but I mean he knocks some sense into him, and just kind of surprises Bray that he's not going with Bray. And yeah, I caught the thing with the Fiend at the end. So yeah, more than likely we are leading up to Braun versus the Fiend, probably at the next pay-per-view. And definitely know the Fiend did not like what he saw. So yeah, not much more I'm going to add to it. Like I said, I'm giving it 2 stars. So it's yours, Fletch.
This was actually an entertaining fight with a little bit of the bizarreness of a Firefly Funhouse that you expect, but Braun overcame it. He actually outmastered the Master. He used the same tactics that Bray was going to use, the same basically mind games, and he outsmarted him. That's beautiful writing that was done by WWE. This was absolutely a perfect way to protect Bray Wyatt, to say that, okay, it didn't work, but now I got my ace up the sleeve. The Fiend is coming. And Bray and Braun, when he turns into a Fiend, he is a monster. So get ready. This is going to get interesting. This is going to be fun. This is going to be a really good, interesting situation. So I don't mind it. 2 to 2.5 stars is my rating for this title fight. Anthony, it's yours.
Solid 2.5 for me. Not having Wyatt perform as the Fiend was a smart move here. That character is best saved for bigger events like SummerSlam.
Agreed.
And I think that's what's going to happen. They did a good job pacing themselves for what turned out to be a longer match than most people would have anticipated. Neither of these men are known for being marathon performers. They strike quickly and end it as fast as possible. This was good from a storytelling perspective. WWE took advantage of not having any fans at the show by having so much dialogue during the bout. And yes, that moment where Strowman had the black sheep mask on and, suckering Bray in. Yes, MF, I agree. That was storyline progression at its finest right there. Absolutely. So, 2.5 stars. That is, I believe that is the correct rating for this match. And no big surprise that Strowman went over, considering it was Firefly Funhouse Bray and not the Fiend. We're gonna get Strowman and the Fiend, but I think it's gonna happen at SummerSlam. That's my thought. So, nothing more to say. MF, let's move on. Well, we just had the SmackDown main event. Now let's get to the Monday Night Raw main event, and the main event as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's a little bit of a debate, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But the WWE title on the line, as it was Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins, winner of the bout in 19 minutes and 20 seconds, and still the World Wrestling Entertainment Heavyweight Champion Drew McIntyre successfully defends the title. Dee Woodson, it is all yours, my dear.
Yeah, this was definitely a really great match. I really enjoyed this one. Very competitive. You didn't think Drew was going to lose to begin with, but they teased it a lot, and both guys delivered. Even though the arena was empty, they still delivered, just as if they were in front of a crowd. They just went out there and they just basically they killed it. I'm going to give it 4 stars. I mean, this was great. And I love the fact that Drew showed that respect at the end, extending his hand out, and then Rollins, he reluctantly took it, but he took it, and Drew didn't do anything to him. It was just genuine respect. So yeah, I really enjoyed this match. So definitely for me, 4 stars. So it's yours, Fletch.
I don't think you can ever disagree with that. This was a 4-star fight. This was definitely, I believe, was the fight of the night, the best match of the Money in the Bank show. And yeah, you're absolutely right. This was a war. They left everything out for chance on this one. They were not going to leave anything, um, to say the very least. And I enjoyed every minute of it. I enjoyed the battle. I enjoyed the fight. I enjoyed the body of work. This was a thrilling matchup. And at the end of the day, the right man won. The right man successfully defends the title, and I cannot disagree with the outcome on this one. This was an absolute treasure and a delight to see. And for me, I can't go any better than that. This was a satisfying end to a really good match, and Drew has now solidified himself as a legitimate WWE champion. Because the last couple of fights were short matches. You're like, ugh, all right, fine. They were good, but can he fight somebody with a longer time period? You know, like some of the fights in the past. Can he really step up? He stepped up tonight and shined. And that's what you need as a world champion. It doesn't matter if you're a Universal Champion or a WWE Champion. What makes you a champion is the adversity, the battles, the wars, and just putting pure guts, pure grit, pure everything in the fight. And that's exactly what Drew McIntyre did. Congratulations, Drew, successfully defending the title. Anthony Floyo, it is all yours. The champion remains the champion.
Damn right he does. Absolutely. 4 stars, absolutely agree. One observation, Seth Rollins finally getting a new entrance music to match his Messiah persona. It fits his gimmick well and will be good for generating heat when the live crowds return. Great matchup here. I only have one little nitpick. There was a little too much trash talking going on during the first half when they should have been focusing on the physical aspects of their performance instead. But the second half saw them pick up the pace and show the kind of chemistry they have together. The right man won, but Seth Rollins still came out of this looking like a strong competitor. There's no question about it. And Drew McIntyre, his toughest challenge to date as the WWE champion, and I'm not at all surprised that he lived up to the expectations. I'm not at all surprised by that. Not at all. So the question is, who's next? We'll have to wait and find out. Will it be Rollins again? Or will it be someone else out of the blue? I don't know. We'll see. But I'm very pleased with the matchup, and that's what you can expect each and every Monday night on Monday Night Raw right there. That was grade A stuff right there from Team Red. Absolutely. I couldn't be any prouder. Well done, gentlemen. So nothing more to say. 4 stars. And Michael Bullock, champion stays the champion. Drew McIntyre. But what a moment after the match. Drew McIntyre actually extended his hand to Seth Rollins, and Rollins actually accepted, and there was no physicality there. Very interesting.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting when they went to exchange hands and there was no physicality. I mean, that was strange. I mean, but either way, this was a 4-star match, and this was definitely the fight of the night. You got to give props to both of these men. They know how to put on a good match. But then again, when you're in a match with Seth Rollins, you know it's going to be something good. And Seth Rollins did make it a really good match, and obviously the champion stays the champion. What's next for Drew McIntyre? Well, we'll have to wait and find out. So 4 stars, fight of the night. And with that being said, Fletch, it's time to make history.
It is indeed time to make history. For the first time ever, the men's and women's Money in the Bank was happening at the exact same time. Complete and utter chaos ensued after that. But when it was all said and done, we start with the women. Because at 22 minutes, Asuka from Monday Night Raw climbed the ladder and retrieved the briefcase. Asuka wins the Money in the Bank. She will now get an opportunity to fight for any title in the next 12 months. She can go after the Raw, the SmackDown, or the NXT women's titles. Whatever the case may be, Asuka now has the control of it. So she defeated Carmella, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Nia Jax, and Shayna Baszler in that. And then in the men's Money in the Bank, oh my, do we have a lot to talk about with this one. So, first off, we had AJ Styles, Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio, King Corbin, Otis, and Daniel Bryan. And yeah, that moment that we were talking about, two guys fell off the roof. Rey Mysterio went flying off the roof, and I believe I heard Aleister Black also went off the roof. So 2 men fell. We don't know their conditions at the moment, so prayers to both men right now, to Rey Mysterio and to Aleister Black. Then the wildest ending you're ever going to see in a Money in the Bank. AJ Styles and King Corbin both were fighting for the Money in the Bank. AJ unlatched it. They both were wrestling for it because they both had the Money in the Bank in possession. They both basically, I don't know if it was a shove off or a push off, but the briefcase goes flying. Otis catches the Money in the Bank, full possession of it. Otis of Heavy Machinery wins the Money in the Bank for the men. The most unlikeliest of Money in the Bank winners in the history of the game. Otis now becomes, I believe, he's now the 9th Money in the Bank holder ever for the men. Or no, wait, no, it's a lot more than that. Somebody's gonna have to do. I think he's the 20. Because the first Money in the Bank was WrestleMania 20. I want to say 21 was the first ever.
Correct.
So
and it was Edge back in 2005.
Yeah.
So it's more than 9.
So it's, yeah, I would probably say, I'm gonna have to check. I gotta do my research now. So let's see, men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Here we go. So now Otis becomes 2009, 10,
16.
He's the 20th.
The 20th Money in the Bank winner. Oh my God. Can you believe this? The 20th Money in the Bank winner. And more importantly, I mean, wow. And now he gets an opportunity to possibly fight for a title. What a crazy few months for Otis. At WrestleMania, gets revenge on Dolph Ziggler, gets the girl in Mandy Rose, and now 1 month later, he's Mr. Money in the Bank. Now, I hear the odds are not good. A lot of people are already predicting failure for Otis. A lot of people are already calling for Otis to have a failed cash-in whenever he does go for the belt. They're already predicting that he's not going to win the title. But just for the fact that he just won the Money in the Bank, the most unlikeliest of winners ever, I think this ranks as one of the biggest moments in his career. I mean, I think this ranks as Damian Sandow. Nobody ever predicted Otis to win the Money in the Bank, and for him to get it, this was an excellent Money in the Bank. No doubt about it. This event was awesome. It was amazing. This was one of the best Money in the Banks I've ever seen. The chaos that ensued, the fighting that went all over the world headquarters. I am so ecstatic with this match. This was excellent. Congratulations to Asuka for winning the Women's Money in the Bank. I think we all could agree that she was one of the favorites, but I don't think she was the favorite. But Otis, whoever would have thought it was gonna be him? Nobody. Anthony Florio. We had one not so big of a surprise. The other one, oh my God. And as far as the rating, and I know you were looking for that, Florio, 4 to 4.5 stars.
We probably would call it the fight of the night too, I'm sure. So
I don't know about fight of the night, but because I don't know if it could have topped McIntyre versus Rollins. But as far as Money in the Bank goes, this was pretty good. This was a very good match.
Agreed. 4 to 4.5 stars. Absolutely right. Once again, WWE outdid itself with a pre-taped gimmick match. The soundtrack and the cameos added to the fun along the way. You would think 12 people would be too many to follow in one match, but every single competitor had a few different moments to themselves. The mixture of violence and comedy suits pro wrestling well, especially in a situation like this. Whoever directed this bout should be proud of what they put together. It'll be very interesting to see how far WWE takes this singles push with Otis. And yes, Mandy Rose, as you would expect, she posted on Twitter about 35 minutes ago. I'm so proud of you at Otis WWE. Now we can celebrate. Woo! So there you have that. But then Sonya Deville wreaked havoc a few minutes later, saying two things. At WWE Asuka is everything, and at Otis WWE is, well, Otis. At WWE Mandy Rose, that's your boy. And Mandy was very bothered by that, saying the fact that you get this bothered by other people's happiness really validates what you've been lacking your whole life. Pretty pathetic. So there's a war of words between Mandy and Sonya right there.
Oh boy.
More fuel to that fire. No question about it.
Oh boy.
But I do want to address a couple things for this match.
She's freaking crazy.
Yes, Bullock, she certainly is. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the fun we had in this match. I mean, one big spot that really stood out to me, Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles did the unthinkable. They fought in Vince's office with Vince inside his office.
Oh my gosh.
And Vince McMahon in casual attire. He didn't have the full-on corporate suit. Oh no, he had like casual Friday attire on. That was pretty interesting to see. But yeah, he did the get out and they put the chairs back. They put everything back nice and neat because that's how he is. And yeah, that was very interesting. Another interesting moment. MF, your girl Dana Brooke, she had a nice little moment there, but apparently they have a conference room dedicated to Money in the Bank, and Dana grabbed the briefcase thinking that it was the briefcase. No, darling.
It's up on the roof, sweetheart. You should have known that.
Yep, it was, and she pulled it down thinking she won, but then Stephanie McMahon interrupted and said, "This is our conference room. It's on the roof." And well, but I got to be honest, the way that briefcase looked, the one that Dana pulled down, I mean, that was an homage to one of my all-time favorite game shows back in the day, Sale of the Century, when they had the see-through briefcase with with the money inside, a whole lot of money, and it kind of had a feeling of that. So that was a nice little throwback to Sale of the Century back in the 1980s, one of my all-time favorite game shows. So I was marking during that moment. And then the food fight, they had a food fight. Paul Heyman getting involved in that. I mean, that was awesome. And I'm sure Michael Bullock at first was cringing when he saw his boy, Mr. John Laurinaitis. Yeah, I bet Bullock's like, oh, God, you got to be kidding me. But Bullock got his vindication when Otis threw a pie in his face, and I know Bullock was loving that. So, considering,
oh hell yeah,
yeah, and I know you still can't stand him to this day, Bullock. I know, but yeah, Laurinaitis got his, no doubt about that. But this was we're not at all surprised. This ended up being the most fun, the wildest, the craziest Money in the Bank match of all time. I don't think we're ever going to see anything like this again. But all I know is hats off to all 12 competitors. Asuka, oh my goodness. I mean, nobody's going to have more fun with this than I am. Not just because she's a Raw girl, but because of the fact that over the last few months, how much I have been absolutely, positively digging and loving her angry Japanese gibberish gimmick. And her holding that briefcase is going to be so damn fun to watch. I cannot wait to see what Asuka's going to have in store. And I really thought Shayna was going to win, but no. I read a dirt sheet recently that Vinnie Mac and them are high on Asuka again, and that Asuka was in line for a push. So this obviously is the sign right here. So well done, Asuka. Way to bring it home to Team Red. I'm so proud of you, my dear. And I cannot wait to see what kind of how entertaining is she going to be with that briefcase. My God, that's going to equal ratings right there. No doubt about it. Otis on the men's side. Oh, man, that ruined my Raw night. At first, I thought AJ was going to get it once Elias came in and hit Corbin in the back with the guitar. And I was like, AJ got it. And then it slipped in, went into Otis. And I'm like, what? And then MF would have been like, oh, my God. And MF would have absolutely lost his mind. And
I went nuts. When I saw Otis with the Money in the Bank, I was like, oh my God! Yes! Yes! SmackDown wins! Otis got the briefcase!
Can you believe it?
Yep.
Yeah, and of course you threw in your signature, can you believe it, on top of that.
Yep.
And you said it, MF. Otis winning the Money in the Bank briefcase on the men's side, it is without question the single biggest upset in the history of the Money in the Bank event. I mean, I'm almost certain he was the long shot to win this match. He was probably like 100 million to 1 or something like that.
Oh yeah. If anybody had Otis in their pool, or if anybody had Otis in their, if they do betting and you had Otis in the Money in the Bank match, and with the odds that they were probably talking about, you're making serious bank tonight, ladies and gentlemen. You're probably walking out with a lot of money. Vegas and the bookies are crying tonight because that was not their pick.
Nope, and that was not the plan at all. But hey, Otis with the briefcase. I mean, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna go after the Universal Championship? Is he gonna jump ship to Monday Night Raw and go after the WWE Championship? Or do they send him down to NXT and go after Adam Cole for the NXT Championship? I have no idea. But yes, celebration time for Otis and for Mandy. I mean, this is another big night for Otis. I mean, he got to take part in a food fight. He got to throw a pie in the face to John Laurinaitis. And now he can call himself Mr. Money in the Bank. Oh my goodness. I still cannot believe it. I mean, here I was thinking it was going to be another banner night for Monday Night Raw, all of the Royal Rumble, but oh no, Asuka did her part, but AJ could not do his. We're like, AJ's got it, and then it falls into Otis's hands, and then I throw in the infamous Jesse Ventura, what? And I just couldn't believe it. So, man, big moment for you, MF. I mean, we're gonna get to you. Well, you already had your say on it, but yes, Otis steals the thunder from Raw. Yes, I know, but hey, at least I got Asuka in the women's side, and
Yeah, I can't deny that. I can't. It ends up being like the WrestleMania 5 moment.
yeah.
It's literally WrestleMania 5 all over again.
Yeah, you may have Otis on the men's side, but I got Asuka as the women's Money in the Bank winner.
Yes, indeed.
And
No
there ain't
doubt.
nothing you can do about that.
And there's nothing I can do about that. Nope.
Yep, that's right, Monsoon. So that's all there is to say on that. So it was a 50-50 night for both of us. We got the women's briefcase with Asuka. MF and SmackDown get the men's briefcase thanks to Otis of all people. My God, but man alive, that was so much damn fun. And I don't know if we're ever gonna see anything like that again. But all I know is remember this one. Remember where you were when you saw it. I mean, it'll forever go down as the wildest, craziest Money in the Bank match of all time. Are we surprised that it delivered? Not at all. Not at all. We knew it would. So it was a 50-50. It was like 50% Boneyard match. The other 50 was like Firefly Funhouse match. So it was a mixed bag. So congratulations to both winners, especially Asuka on Raw, and I'll give Otis his due here. First he gets the girl, now he's got the briefcase. Could the belt be next? Could you imagine Otis as the champion? Whoa. Wow. And what's Tucker gonna think about all this? I wonder what's going through Tucky's mind right about now.
Hold on.
Okay,
I'm on the hunt.
Yep, I am too. But boy howdy, I mean, I just cannot believe what has happened here. Oh, yep, he's got it. He said, "So proud of you, my brother. Hashtag blue collar solid, no matter what. At Otis WWE is Mr. Money in the Bank." That from Tucker on Twitter. So Tucky's definitely happy for his partner, no doubt about it. So, oh boy, what's going to happen on Friday night? Come Friday Night SmackDown. So we're going to have to wait and see. So well done. Congratulations to the winners. 4 to 4.5. Michael Bullock, no big surprise about Asuka. She was one of the favorites, but Otis on the men's side? What?
Yeah, I don't think anybody would have predicted Otis to win it. I didn't think so. I mean, Asuka was definitely no surprise, but Otis was the last person on my mind that was going to win it. But yeah, Otis definitely got the job done. I mean, tell you what a couple of months for this guy. He beats Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania, gets the girl in Mandy Rose. Now he wins Money in the Bank. Whew. Yeah, I mean, 4.5. I do agree on it, so there's really nothing more to add on it. You guys pretty much touched on everything, so Dee Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I'm going last on this because I had no idea at first how we were going to rate this, if we were doing it as two separate matches, if we were doing it as one match, or what. And then I didn't know exactly what rating to give it because it was so chaotic. I mean, you have them starting two separate areas of the Titan Towers. You had lots of cameos through this. I mean, you had Brother Love in there. You had Paul Heyman in there. You had Doink the Clown in there. I mean, just so many different people just popping up. Of course, Stephanie Vince. Seeing Asuka jump off the balcony on all the girls. That was classic. I do have one question. How slow is that freaking elevator?
It's kind of surreal, I guess, right now.
She heads up in the elevator, and
30 plus years of my life.
it opens when the girls make it to the same floor as the elevator. How slow is that thing? Oh,
Well, you got to admit that building was made in literally the 1980s. So, I mean,
still.
it's a pretty old building. The Titan Towers in Stamford, Connecticut, it's pretty old. So sometimes the elevators doesn't age very well.
Still, I mean, that elevator should have went a little bit faster than that. But I mean, the guys got up there faster than Asuka in their elevator. So I mean, it was weird.
Right now, I'm pretty content right now.
And then Otis, of course, leaving the barbell on top of AJ Styles. That was fun. The Undertaker room and the reaction that AJ had to the Undertaker picture in that room, you know, brought back all the stuff from WrestleMania, and we got to see, that he is still got the fear and everything of that. So that was almost like a closure to the Boneyard match, having that there, and Black closing him in that room with that casket, giving that, like I said, that closure to that. Love the food fight. The food fight was funny. Asuka yelling at the guy mopping the floor. That was funny. Felt bad for Dana Brooks for hitting her head so hard on the floor. Carmella throwing her picture on top of Dana Brooke. I mean, there's just so many different things that was going on. Just so it like I said, it was just very chaotic, but it was very fun to watch. And so yeah, I'm going to go ahead and agree with the ratings you all gave. It was a great match.
If you think Smith's easy.
Like I said in the chat, if we had to be wrong on who was winning the matches, it was kind of a fun thing to see Otis winning it. I mean, that kind of made the night, getting to see, the underdog coming out on top. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed it very much. Definitely a great Money in the Bank. So not much more I'm going to add. So, Fletch, I toss it to you.
All right, and we're gonna go into the overall final thoughts on this Money in the Bank event. Anthony Florio, you lead off, my friend.
Great show here tonight. I mean, we only had one bad match on this show, which was that dud from Monday Night Raw. But other than that, I mean, the Money in the Bank match, that's going to be talked about for many, many years to come. No doubt about it. McIntyre and Rollins, as far as the undercard goes, they stole the show on the undercard with a very good WWE Championship match. The opening match for that 4-way for the tag team titles, that came out really good. Very good show there, or match rather. And then from there, and then the Universal match was solid, not overly spectacular, but it didn't really need to be. So yeah, I mean, a very good overall show. The pay-per-view clocked in at just under 2.5 hours. Good idea for so many reasons. But in particular, because it leaves the audience with energy and time. You can go right into that Undertaker special. I know Bullock did. So, yeah, and that's another thing. I mean, I was expecting this to be your typical 3 to 3.5 hour event, but it was only in 2.5 hours. I mean, it was like an old school WWF style pay-per-view from like the 90s. It almost felt like in an old school In Your House, for goodness sakes. It kind of felt like that almost, because that's how long those usually took back in the day. But But nonetheless, though, great effort from everybody involved. Obviously, there's going to be no rating because of the situation. Obviously, we won't be doing that until, knock on wood, God willing, the day comes where we actually get fans back in attendance in arenas. So, but for right now, great show overall. One bad match, but other than that, if I had to give it a rating, I probably would be leaning towards a solid 8. So that's all I can say. So great event. It didn't overstay its welcome. A 2.5-hour event. Yeah, let's keep that up, please. Booked perfectly. So really nothing more to say on that. So Michael Bullock, let's get your final thoughts on this Money in the Bank pay-per-view. One bad match, but other than that, everything else was solid to good to great.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this Money in the Bank was a pretty good pay-per-view. I mean, for it to be only under 2.5 hours, I mean, that was like an old school WWF pay-per-view that we had back in the days. Yeah, you had only one bad match, which was Bobby Lashley and R-Truth. Everything else was solid to good to great. I mean, obviously we all can agree the biggest shocker was obviously Otis winning the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Of course, Rollins and McIntyre delivering a very good match, and yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously you're gonna probably continue the feud with Strowman and Bray Wyatt, obviously with the Fiend now. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. I was pretty impressed with this pay-per-view. So nothing more to say. Dee Dee, let's get your final thought.
Yeah, this was a very good pay per view. Yeah, we had the one low point with them throwing Lashley in instead of MVP. With R-Truth, just pretty much just burying R-Truth. But it was also a cool down match after the opening bout. So yeah, it was definitely an entertaining show. Matches were very well done. The booking, they didn't try to cram as many matches as they could into that time frame, which was great. They gave, well, with the exception of R-Truth and Lashley, they gave them all ample time to build their storyline, build their match the way they needed to, so that it was entertaining, but also gave us all a chance to actually be able to get into what they were doing, get into the storyline and everything. So I mean, it was very well done. I really enjoyed how it came out. I was nervous when they were going into the Money in the Bank, 'cause I didn't know what we were going to expect. I didn't know how they were going to work this. They did a great job. I mean, going back and forth from men and women the way they did and everything, it came out really, really well. And and everything. So yeah, it was a great match. So I'm with Florio. If we had to rate it, then I probably would have gone with an 8 as well. But for this not having an audience and everything, I mean, they did a great job building it up and making it something that everyone could enjoy. And yeah, we had some surprises. We had some really good outcomes through there. And storylines were right on track. So yeah, I have nothing negative to say about it. So Fletch, I toss it to you.
I totally agree with everything you guys have said. This was a very good Money in the Bank event. Solid matches all the way through. Only one bad fight the whole night. I don't think there's going to be a lot of arguments or a lot of complaints about this at all. I think Otis winning the Money in the Bank was a shocker. I think a lot of people will not believe that just happened, but it was a great ending. It was a great ending to an event. Oscar winning Money in the Bank, I don't have any problem with that either. So I mean, like Anthony said, it was a 50-50 night. We had a really good night to say the very least, and there's really nothing more to add. So tomorrow night, we're gonna do is Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio. It will be the fallout from the Money in the Bank on the Raw end. What's gonna happen to Drew McIntyre now? Successfully defended the WWE title. Now he has to have eyes on the back of his head. Is it possible Otis shows up? Maybe calls him out for a WWE title fight. We'll have to wait and see. And then Becky Lynch, you definitely have to have eyes in the back of your head now, my dear, because you got Asuka to deal with. Asuka, Miss Money in the Bank. Does she decide that this is the time to pull the trigger? We'll have to wait and find out. And then, as always, we will also, if there is a Tony's Take, I don't know, we will cover that tomorrow night. So, with that said, for D.D. Woodson, for Michael Bullock, and for Anthony Floyo, I am Michael Fletcher. And as always, thank you so much. And so long, everybody.